Hi friends, I am Miss Jerry with Ventura County Library. Thank you for joining me tonight for Bedtime Stories. Let's start with a silly joke. Why do you go to bed at night? Why do you go to bed at night? Because the bed won't go to you. All right, friends, let's get some of our wiggles out. Let's get our thumbs ready and our voices ready. La la la. Thumbs and voices ready for singing and getting our wiggles out. My thumbs are starting to wiggle. My thumbs are starting to wiggle. My thumbs are starting to wiggle. Around and round and round. Let's do hands. My hands are starting to wiggle. My hands are starting to wiggle. My hands are starting to wiggle. Around and round and round. Let's do arms. My arms are starting to wiggle. My arms are starting to wiggle. My arms are starting to wiggle. Around and round and round. Let's do shoulders. My shoulders are starting to wiggle. My shoulders are starting to wiggle. My shoulders are starting to wiggle. Around and round and round. Let's do whole body. My body's starting to wiggle. My body's starting to wiggle. My body's starting to wiggle. Now let's all sit down. All right, friends, if you aren't sitting already, let's have a seat and enjoy bedtime. What do we do for bedtime? Let's see, we have to brush our teeth, put on our pajamas, maybe wash our face or take a bath, pick out a special lovey, and read books and sing songs. So let's sing a song about reading. Sing it with me. It's called The More We Read Together. The more we read together, 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 the more we read together, the happier we'll be. Read big books and small books and short books and tall books. The more we read together, the happier we'll be. Nice singing, friends. Let's see. Let's read our first book for tonight. It is called The Mouse and the... What is that? The Moon by Gabriel Alborozo. And thank you, to Macmillan Books for letting us read this story today. The Mouse and the Moon. Looks like a pond. Oh, and there's Mouse. And can you see the moon? There's the moon. In a dark and broken tree, in a dark and wild wood, there lived a little mouse, all alone. His only friend was the moon. Each night the moon appeared, and the little mouse would talk to his friend about his news, his hopes, and his fears. But the moon never replied. The little mouse wondered if maybe the moon was just too far away to hear him. So the little mouse set off to find his friend. The little mouse ran and ran through the wild wood. The moon was always above, and it didn't get any closer. So the mouse was as far from home as he'd ever been. He was feeling a little afraid. The little mouse stopped to rest. He searched the night sky for his friend, but the moon was nowhere to be seen until... "Hello," a small voice whispered, so quietly that even with his big ears, the little mouse could barely hear it. The mouse crept forward and peered around the tree. "Hello?" the little mouse called back. And there, floating in the small, still pool, was the moon. The mouse couldn't believe it. He'd found his friend at last. Hidden from sight, beneath the moon's reflection, there lived a tiny fish. The tiny fish couldn't believe it. His friend, the moon, was speaking to him at last. "I've been waiting so long to talk to you," bubbled the tiny fish. "Me too," squeaked the little mouse. "I'm so glad to meet you." They stayed up all night talking of this and that and that and this. As they talked, the sky became lighter and lighter. Dawn was coming. The sky brightened and the moon grew fainter. "Oh no," they both cried. "Please don't go." The little mouse moved as close as he could to the moon, and the tiny fish swam up as close as he dared. Then the moon vanished, and the two new friends saw each other for the first time. One above and one below. Both together and both happy. That was a very sweet story called The Mouse and the Moon. I hope you like that one. I love that one. I think it's such a sweet story about finding new friends. It's always a good thing, right? So let's sing a song that features the moon. Do you remember the song Skidamarink? We can do it like this. We can sing Skidamarinky dinky dink. Or we can do this. Skidamarinky dinky dink, skidamarinky doo. I think I'll do it this way. Let's see. Ready? Skidamarinky-dinky-dink, skidamarinky-doo. I love you. Skidamarinky-dinky-dink, skidamarinky-doo. I love you. I love you in the morning and in the afternoon. I love you in the evening and underneath the moon. Oh, skidamarinky-dinky-dink, skidamarinky-doo. I love you. Nice singing, friends. Our next book is called Twinkle Twinkle Little Car. Car? Little car? Twinkle Twinkle Little Car? Don't they mean little star? I know Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Should we sing that first? Then we can find out what that car business is all about. Okay, you ready? You know Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Okay, you ready for this? Twinkle, twinkle, little car? That's different. That looks fun though. Let's see. Twinkle, Twinkle Little Car by Kate Dopierak and illustrated by Mary Peterson. And thank you to Simon & Schuster for letting us read this book tonight. Twinkle, twinkle, little car, how you love to travel far. Now it's time to go to bed, but you want to drive instead. Hit your headlights, hang a right, cruise around to say good night. Honk to tractors in their shed, they're already tucked in bed. Beep, beep. Those tractors are already asleep, don't wake them up. Airplane swoops across the sky, vroom, vroom, zooms as you pass by. Open windows, drop the top, race to town before you stop. Trucks and taxis, buses too, they all toot good night to you. Doo doo. Swish your wipers, blink your lights, set the station in your sights. There's the fire station. They have to stay up all night, huh? Ready for anything. Sirens whoop and whistle blow. What a flashy good night show. Roll through the construction site. Cranes and diggers wave good night. Good night, cranes and diggers. Let's see, there's the crane. And that must be the digger. Take a pit stop in the park. Now it's getting really dark. Ooh, who's that? Who's out? The skunk is out at night. Over, up, around, and through. What's a sleepy car to do? See the ferry, motor on, muffle back a vroomy yawn. Uh-oh, tank is running low. Engine purrs, then starts too slow. Put, put home and pull right in. And let your beep, beep dreams begin. Good night, little car. That was Twinkle Twinkle Little Car. All right, friends, it's time for our good night rhyme. You can say it with me. We need 1 fluffy quilt for my bed, 2 soft pillows for my head, 3 teddy bears to hold on tight, 4 kisses for a restful night, and 5 big hugs, and out goes the light. Good night, friends. Sweet dreams.